Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Pulpit for November the 24th, 2025. We're so glad you're joining us. We're going to make this a little shorter because our Vision Sunday sermon was so long. But I am joined here by two outstanding guests, and I have the baton. So first I'm going to introduce the one and only, the famous Amy Huber right here.
Well, actually, I think there's two of us. Technically.
Okay, the one of the two and only, Amy Huber, you have the red baton.
I have the
red
red baton.
And we have the Christmas color batons right here. There we go. Boom.
Here we are.
And then to her left is is Dave. He's got the blue baton. By the way, I mentioned by the end, since this week is Thanksgiving, we should pull out the Reese's and actually cut it up as a pre-Thanksgiving dessert meal. And Tim said we could do it, so we're gonna make it happen. So how's it going? How was the rest of your weekend? Did you guys get any downtime yesterday?
I did. I went to a friend's house, and
I know. I heard you skipped out on pickleball yesterday to go and see your friend.
There?
No, I was not. But I have my kids would not allow me to go. So.
Oh. No, I got to see some friends, and I found out that the people I was visiting are neighbors of Bruce and Carrie Cork, right in Bloomsbury. But yeah,
wow,
it was fun.
Bruce and Carrie, the legend expands. All right, Dave, what about you? Did you get a nap yesterday?
How come if we have a long sermon, it's a shorter podcast? I would think that would
because we exceeded some of our time.
Extend the podcast. It would be only that much more to cover.
Pastor Dave, I'm also outraged.
Yeah. I don't understand your logic.
Well, I do have to, it is a short week, and I do have to write a sermon for this coming Sunday.
Oh, that's the real reason.
Everyone needs to do their shopping and cooking, so I agree with that.
All right. Well,
I have a turkey thawing in my fridge since Friday night.
Oh, okay. It must
you
be
guys
really
have the
look at you.
thawing going? Are
How
you
big is
thawing?
your turkey?
Well, we're not cooking. Otherwise, we probably would be thawing.
Pretty big.
Yeah. And it's a large bird. It's what's the poundage? What's the tonnage on the bird?
Oh gosh, I gotta go home. I'll get you that answer later.
What's
it's
your
fairly large.
What's your process for the thaw, Pastor Dave?
You know, every single year, it's like I can't even believe it's been this many days and there's still ice in here. So Friday night is how we started it. It's got to be ready by Thursday morning if we start 6 days in advance. So we're trying. Yeah.
So do you cook the bird like? Wasn't there a famous video last year from RFK Jr.? He puts the bird. He what do you call it? He deep fries the bird or something.
I don't deep fry. We do a traditional oven baking, and we've got a certain recipe for the stuff that goes in there, and the nice butter coating on the outside. Yes. I think Tony Iannacone is the one who gave me this particular recipe like 10 years ago. It's good. You got like a lemon in there, a whole thing of garlic. You got a certain rosemary and stuff goes inside, and then it comes out pretty good.
Okay. All right. Now the question is, how sleepy does it make you after you're done eating it?
Myth.
Tryptophan.
Not a myth. Tryptophan makes you sleep.
Yes, but there's not enough tryptophan in turkey to actually do anything. It's just
I don't know. So I want to get laid down on the couch if I have a lot of turkey.
Well, how much do you eat on Thanksgiving? That's what does it.
Oh, and it also depends on the time. I'm curious, how many of you have dinner at 1 versus
I'm an early dinner person.
6 p.m.?
But I have heard recently that
I split the difference. Usually
ours is in the middle. Yeah.
I have heard recently that tryptophan doesn't actually do anything to you from the amount that's in the turkey. It's just the fact that you eat so much on Thanksgiving.
Prove it.
Prove it. You're breaking news right here. This is for In the News segment.
This is the In the News segment right there.
All right, to the men of NBC, it is once again the time to tell you guys about our next men's breakfast, and this one is going to be a special one. Our next men's breakfast will take place on December the 13th in Fellowship Hall right here at NBC from 7:30 to 9 a.m. That's December 13th, and this one's going to be really cool because we're going to be talking about faith in the arena, specifically the sports arena. We're going to be having our very own Don Herman on the panel, who was a previous member of the New York Football Giants, along with others who are going to talk about how they lived out their life of faith in sports. You're not going to miss that, so come on out.
Speaking of In the News, while Tim looks it up, let's jump into that segment, the world famous In the News. All right, right, so we were talking about a few news stories that were worthy of note, other than the fact that it is Thanksgiving this week, and hopefully you're going to have a good Thanksgiving. Actually, the one news story that caught my eye that I forgot to mention was apparently the FAA is warning of travel delays this week for Thanksgiving. So if you're flying, we'll pray for you by the time this podcast is done. But you had one. You had a couple over there, Pastor Dave. You want to do the Ukraine one first, or should we do the Trump Mamdani or Mom? How do you say his name? Mamdani. Mamdani.
First, I think we should talk about what is Thanksgiving. So there was some misunderstandings.
Just kind of took that took the bull by the horns there.
This is newsworthy. I think. What is it that we're celebrating this week? There's some different theories out there, and it's changed since I was in elementary school. So there's the whole Pilgrim Thanksgiving thing from 1621. That's really famous, where the feast was held with the certain Native American tribe. I think it's Wampanoag. I'm not remembering exactly, but so that's like the OG. And then there were some colonial Thanksgivings before we became an official separated country from England. And then Abraham Lincoln, during the Civil War, declared in 1863 a national day of Thanksgiving for the country to give thanks to God. That's what Thanksgiving is.
Honest Abe, man. Honest Abe.
Right. And then modern, I'm looking it up here, the modern date was in 1941, where Congress formally set Thanksgiving as the fourth Thursday in November. I have some people in my family that are not American, and this is not exactly something that other people know about. So it's good to explain. Like, for example, my brother-in-law Benjamin is from Zimbabwe, and they have different ways of, giving thanks and gratitude to God, but this isn't like their thing. So that's what Thanksgiving is in America, and I think it's worthy of recognizing. So you guys enjoy the little history lesson I gave you there?
Yes.
I was enthralled right there, Pastor Dave.
I appreciated it. Thank you.
I can put a bow on the tryptophan claim,
All right.
which is not a claim. This is from texashealth.org, and there are many other things that have articles on this. Tryptophan from Turkey. Tryptophan is an amino acid that helps create chemical called serotonin in your brain. It's also present in other foods like chicken and beef. It's not just turkey. Some nuts and cheeses also have it. There is not nearly enough tryptophan in turkey to give you any sort of reaction. It's a combination of the amount of carbs you eat, sometimes the blood sugar spike from the sugar, the amount of food, and some people like to enjoy a glass of wine or two on Thanksgiving. So a combination of those things is what puts you to sleep. So don't blame Tom on your post.
Fake news.
On
Right
your nap.
there. Fake news.
I think that it's a good idea to incorporate a turkey trot as part of your Thanksgiving festivities because, burning off that calorie plate, I think on average people consume about 3,000 calories on Thanksgiving.
That's a lot of calories. And you're not really moving either, so,
right.
So what you're saying.
Get that 5K in before you dine on the turkey.
I've done the Greenbrook turkey trot, which was fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My time was not great. It was like 33 or something ridiculous.
That's
I was
not bad.
So you just
I wasn't the last
did you
one, but I
trot,
was
or did
trotting
you-
across the finish line after a lot of
Okay.
people already finished.
Wow, all right.
Johnny would be laughing at me.
Maybe next
Yeah,
year.
did Johnny say anything to you after your rebuke of him with his running during the sermon yesterday?
He disappeared. I think he's mad at me. Yeah, we're not friends anymore after that blasphemy that I gave him yesterday.
All right. So what's the next story now that Thanksgiving? What do you want to talk about? I got the parent right one down in Colts Neck.
Okay, let's talk about that.
All right. So here's the headline. Colts Neck School Board adopts parents' rights policy. LGBTQ plus advocates object. So basically, this is down in my neck of the woods where I grew up. Colts Neck is not far from Middletown, but Monmouth County, which is a more conservative part of New Jersey. The Board of Education down there in Colts Neck adopted a Parent Bill of Rights on November the 19th, which has drawn criticism. The 9-member school board of Colts Neck Township Schools, which educates 1,000 children in preschool through 8th grade, unanimously approved the parents' rights, and the measure says the parents should have the right to know if their child changes pronouns or gender identity. What a concept, Pastor Dave. So this is something that's debated. Mm-hmm. And I was actually just having a conversation since we were talking. We did the spot for Little Footprints in the sermon yesterday, somebody came up to me and was even talking about the challenges with public schools and curriculum. And this is another thing. So curriculum's one thing, but then this is a totally another thing that the school boards or the school districts might be hiding things the kids are doing in the actual classroom from what's going for their parents at home. So I see that as being a problem. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's a general philosophical difference there that, who has the ultimate authority over a child's life? Who is the rightful person who's responsible for, upbringing? And at what point do we cede control over to the government? Like, what is the definition of danger? And at what point is it appropriate for government to intervene on in a family's, life? And I think right now our society is wrestling with that. I would obviously veer more towards, the parents ultimately have rights in this way. But, different people consider the problem is we're defining like what's dangerous and what's abusive differently because of different worldview.
Right, because some people would say, well, the fact that you're not affirming what your child wants to do, that's actually it's being recast as being abuse.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually harmful. So,
yeah.
They're casting themselves as the hero in the play, saying we're going to swoop in and we're going to
look at you pulling in the drama triangle.
There's
right there.
There's the threat of suicide is typically what's trotted out there. Mm-hmm. So if you don't affirm, then your child is going to be at risk, and that's a pretty significant card to play. Hey, if you don't do this, just so you know, you might be responsible for someone taking their own life. That's like the ultimate trump card, right? So that I don't know that the research really bears that out, but that's what's been said. I would disagree with that, although I do think there's at some point where you have an abusive household and the authorities do need to protect children from certain environments, but we would take issue with, gender transitions being of that caliber. I think parents should be very aware of what's going on there.
Yeah. So here's a statement from the school board president, Angelique Volpe. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but she says, parents' rights will remain at the forefront of every decision we make. Parents are the primary authority in their children's education, and we will not permit any sexual conduct, ideology, or identity to take priority over the rights of our families and the educational mission of our schools. That's a pretty strong statement from the school board president right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, it really comes down to who is it that has primary authority, and some people don't think it's parents. But from a Christian worldview perspective, we would have some disagreements with that.
Big time.
Yeah. All right, next story. What do you want to talk about? Anything else?
We can talk about Ukraine a little bit.
All right.
So here's the BBC
give me
headline.
a summary of what's going on in the Ukraine.
So
the Ukraine.
U.S. and Ukraine signal peace plan progress after Geneva talks. This article is from today. There was some negotiations that were drawn up with an updated and refined peace framework with plan to continue to work on that peace in the coming days. A joint statement said talks on a U.S.-backed plan in Geneva, which are now understood to have concluded, were highly productive. Marco Rubio said a tremendous amount of progress was made, honing a plan, but there's still work to be done. So the plan, I guess, is the question, is this a positive plan or is this a problematic plan? There was originally 28 points to the peace plan. Some more controversial points than others. The biggest thing that I saw that was kind of troublesome is all of the territories that were attacked and taken over by Russia were essentially going to be ceded to Russia as part of this peace plan, and more, and even more than that, I think. Number two, they wanted to permanently limit the size of Ukraine's army. I think it was 100,000 or 500,000 or less, or I can't remember the exact number, but it had to be a small army. Ukraine could not join NATO. And there was some reconstruction finances involved with the plan. So, there were several things to talk about from a Christian worldview perspective. Obviously, 2,000 years ago, the greatest peacemaker who ever lived said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God." We want to obviously advocate for peace and resolution of conflicts like this. There's a terrible loss of life happening on a weekly basis. There is a just war tradition in the Christian faith, and we believe that Ukraine has a right to defend themselves as a matter of last resort in this case. I think We want to be advocating for the vulnerable and those who have suffered as a result of this war and the atrocities there. We need to pray for wisdom for our leaders, and I think we need to be careful about what is justice here, and is justice going to be served by this peace plan? There seems like it seems like it's tilted more in favor of basically a laundry list of what Russia wants. That's what it seemed like. So some honing needs to happen, and we'll see if this is something that both sides are willing to agree to. We would certainly pray that this would end quickly. But those are some thoughts on the
So what
the
does
news.
Ukraine get? Did Ukraine get anything? You didn't mention anything. What are they getting?
They get to stop dying. They get to,
Okay, so
the arms get to be laid down. They get to
And that's
have
it.
a ceasefire.
But they get nothing else.
I'd have to look deeper into all these points. There's probably some things, but I do know they want elections to happen. So Zelensky, I think, has had some kind of, there's a wartime hiatus on democracy. So he's basically the president for the interim time. There's no end in sight to his term. So part of this is potentially him losing power, which I'm sure he's not that happy about. But it doesn't look to me like there's that much in favor of the Ukrainian position here. So that
To
could
me,
be
it would
troubling.
make sense if they did some of those things, but then the concession was that Ukraine join NATO or the EU or something like that, so that they have some guaranteed protections in the future.
It doesn't look like that's going to be an option. Yeah. So
Well,
the
maybe-
question is asked, like, okay, so how long is this going to last? And what, it's only a matter of time till Russia invades again, right? Because
Yeah.
it seems like we're rewarding them for
Yeah.
the aggression. So we'll see.
Well,
we would love
we
to
gotta
see an
pray-
end to
pray
this
for-
war. I think we're coming up on year 4. Is that March of
2022? I think is when it started.
So
So, it
we're-
is coming year 4. Yeah.
It's getting really drawn out here. I'd love to see an end to this.
But were you the one that was saying, Amy, that they had robots fighting in the field, and of course drone warfare has been a big thing?
The robots were considered a lifeline in the kill zone, bringing precious supplies to the troops that are trapped on the Eastern Front.
How close are we to having Terminators in warfare? That's the question. I guess this is happening, right?
I thought we were much farther out than this. I did not realize
Yes.
this was happening.
Yes.
That's
Have you
amazing.
seen Elon Musk posting about his Optimus robots? That's a whole other conversation, but wow.
I've seen some images. They're pretty versatile machines.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be, things are going to change. All right. So anything else on the news stories? We feel good about those? Our
Yes.
cultural commentary for the day? All right. Done.
Once again, this one is for our men. So men of NBC, we are excited to tell you about a men's small group that's going to happen from 7 to 8:30 a.m. every single morning in the YFMB room 202 here at NBC. And this group is going to be called the Men's Power Hour. The Power Hour is a group of men seeking to know God better by concentrating on how he speaks to us through Scripture. After an opening prayer, we look at a portion of Scripture directly or use a topical book based on Scripture, seeking not only knowledge but wisdom. But the Power Hour is more than just that. It's a place where men can share personal concerns and seek help and guidance, knowing that everything discussed will be kept in the strictest confidence by the group. If you have any more information on that, check out our website and contact Jim Ludecker, who will be leading the group. This sounds like an awesome group for men who are looking to seek the Lord in community.
Let's move on to the Great Book War. All right. So, Tim, give us an update over there. What's
All right,
going on?
So going into this week, Pastor Dave had a 5-2 lead, and
well,
that,
an asterisk because you did not give me my forfeit wins. So an asterisk
Well-
next to his wins.
well, the competition wasn't here, so.
Exactly. That's what a forfeit means.
Well, we'll discuss with the commissioner of the league here. We'll get back
I will
to
be
you on
launching an appeal.
that. Duly noted. So Pastor Dave will continue to roll on here with a 12 response victory for Pastor Dave.
Look at that blue.
Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones, the basis of Christian unity. But I
Jones.
also want to take this time and kind of address something that I noticed.
Okay.
I'm going to address an injustice here with this voting.
You know what the injustice is?
Rigged.
That Pastor Dave recommended a $200 book.
What?
Oh,
Yikes.
That might be the injustice here. So all of you blind voters of Pastor Dave out there, why don't you look at how
you
much
can get that thing for a lot less than that.
I don't know. It says right here.
I don't know, Tim. I
$199.99.
think Dave's doing some ballot harvesting over
Nah.
these book wars right now.
That's fake news. Maybe that particular cover or that particular publication, but you can get that book for 10.
It's a
10
I
book.
was ahead, but then in the middle of the night, all of a sudden,
That's a paperback
several
book
votes
for
showed up.
$200.
No, it's cheap. You
Well,
can get it. It's just that
it's not.
particular.
Look at that.
It's that version or that
That
cover.
was the only one I saw on Amazon. So,
Trust me, it's out there. You can get it.
All right.
You don't have to pay that. It's a good book. You'll like it.
All right.
There you go.
Brother
All right.
Martin.
So,
So are we doing? We're doing recommendations.
we're now doing
Christian unity.
We're now doing recommendations.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm not even quite sure why I recommend books anymore because apparently everybody has it in for me out there. But I will roll on and give a recommendation today and see what happens. So yesterday we did Vision Sunday, but we'll talk about that in a minute. If you didn't pick up your beautiful
Look at that.
outline of our strategic plan.
Look at that. Let's all
Yeah,
hold
it's a
them up
great cover.
just
There we
for like
go.
a good shot.
That's
Look
wonderful.
at this, man.
That's beautiful. That should be the cover there.
11
Good
by
job,
17.
Noah.
Look how big it gets when you
Wordsmithing.
hold the whole thing. Wow.
Dave, he just smell it. Does it smell like a new?
I hope everyone
book?
Look at that
keeps
QR
it
code.
posted in their kitchen or
Pray
in their
for
den
us.
As a,
All right. Well, the reason I'm bringing that up is so we launched our 3-year strategic plan, and under the Made to Multiply section, a big strategy was building out a robust disability ministry. So I think we voiced it as building a culture of compassion, and the disability is the piece of that. So the book that our family team and our disability leadership team is going to be reading, and that I would highly recommend, is a book called Accessible Church by Sandra Peoples. The subtitle is A Gospel-Centered Vision for Including People with Disabilities and Their Families. And I really appreciate how she's put this book together. So at the beginning, she basically gives a theology of disability. And if you think disability isn't in the Bible, read chapter 2, where she goes over all the Bible verses that talk about this. And then she's got a whole lot of practical suggestions in the following chapters, from how we develop policies, how people are impacted by this, who needs to be on the leadership team. We just got through the section with our family team about kids ministry, and next month we're going to be looking at teens and adults, I should say. But ultimately, one of the things that she says is the goal is the gospel, that we want everybody to have access to hear the good news about Jesus Christ. How can we do that for those that are impacted by disabilities and have some limits? So this is a fabulous book for that. I highly recommend it, and I'm sure I won't get the votes for it, but that's my recommendation.
1642 free on audiobook, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Currently on
Boom.
sale for free if you want to listen to the audio version.
For me, I'm going to recommend a book by a fellow German, Dietrich Bonhoeffer. In case you don't know, the last
Bonhoeffer.
name, Henschel, is German. So Bonhoeffer lived in the early 1900s. He was a Christian pastor. He was a seminary professor. He was also a political prisoner in Nazi Germany. And before he was captured and taken into prison, he spent some time in different contexts. One of those contexts was living in essentially a community atmosphere with a bunch of other clergy, where he got some insight in terms of what it means to live life together. And so Life Together is a short book. I think it's like 100 pages, 120 pages. I just read it this past week, and it is all about the common life that we have in Christ and the gift that it is to live in fellowship and live in community. The book is divided into 5 big sections. The first one is about the value of life together. Then he talks about the rhythms of the Christian life, and he gives some really, really practical tips on how to do things like morning devotions, evening devotions, how to incorporate the Psalms, how do you pray the things like the imprecatory Psalms, which is like, God smite my enemies. How do you do that? And he says basically you're essentially taking on the mind of Christ there and recognizing that he died for his enemies. And so you're kind of adjusting things based on the age of grace that we live in. He also talks about how to have solitude in here and what to do with your solitude. And there's some really key parts of fellowship in here. about how to have confession and how to receive a confession and how to give a confession and how to prepare yourself for the Lord's table. It's basically a treatise on how to have like an authentic Christian community experience. And I found this book to be really accessible, really amazing, really relevant. Bonhoeffer is a great theologian that I think sometimes is overlooked. What I also read about in conjunction with that is he actually put together a confession called the Bethel Confession, where because Hitler was elected and in the 30s he was coming to more and more totalitarian power, he put together a theological statement that never really got published. But the statement was the traditional articles of faith in theology, but it also had integrated in there very sharp cultural critiques about what was happening in Germany and how we as Christians respond to those things. It was a very different way to think about like a doctrinal statement. Like there was this whole section in there on the Jews and how Christians should think about Jewish people. So it's like, okay, wow. You don't normally see that in a doctrinal statement. Sure. And there was a big section about the government, a big section about things that were going on in Germany. And he was like, telling you how to think about these things as a Christian right inside of the Bethel Confession, which I found to be super helpful. So that's my recommendation. You should have this on your shelf and you should get it. And I think you can get it for like $10. I don't think I'm lying about that, Tim.
I got his whole...
It is $10.
His whole
There we
3 major volumes. So he's got Life Together. He's got The Cost of Discipleship, another famous one. And then he's got a whole ethics volume.
This one I think is probably the simplest one. I think you'll like it. Classic exploration of Christian community. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. That's my recommendation.
What do you think?
Well, I do. I actually
Let me come on the heel. We're going to split the vote this week.
Brief, but I just in all transparency, I haven't read it yet, but I just received it from Christian Book, which, by the way, if you order from Christian Book, put in Millington Baptist Church, and we will get some proceeds from those sales back to the church. But I don't know if you can see it on my phone. I am about to read a book called Growing Together. The focus is on taking mentoring beyond small talk and prayer requests. So I'm going to be going through this book with another young lady in a mentoring discipleship relationship. So,
well, that sounds like a good book right there.
Can I see the cover?
Melissa Kruger?
Melissa
she's
Kruger.
good.
Oh, yeah.
She is Michael Kruger's wife.
Yes.
Michael Kruger, the president of Reformed Theological Seminary in Charlotte.
This book is highly recommended by the Gospel Coalition. So
all right, there you go.
there you have it.
I have a
That's my
PDF of that.
recommendation. You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Kim used it as a
Yes.
mentoring tool. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's got a little bit of inner reputational weight there.
There you go.
Got an endorsement from the women's ministry.
Growing together. Boom.
All right.
As always, we recommend you decide. So we'll see how this goes.
A lot of Christian
third-party voting this
relational-
week, Pastor Dave.
Oh my.
I don't know if Tim's going to represent. Amy's going to be the Green Party in the colors. So we'll see what happens.
I have the red. Do we have red represented?
Yeah, but usually.
Oh, that's right.
Usually I get
Amy
the
is
red.
running as an independent.
I'm running as an independent. Vote for me.
Purple.
I think
There you
based
go.
on recent local election results statewide, Pastor Dave, I think you would be the Democrat in this situation.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's got the blue
got the blue
baton
one.
over there. Yep. There you
I don't
go.
know what I think about this. I want to switch colors.
Hey guys, we are about to jump right into the Vision Sunday recap where we're going to talk about all the things that we are excited for coming up in our 175th year here at NBC. But before we do that, on December the 20th, we will be having our City Relief Packing Party where we will come together as a church and pack over 1,000 hygiene kits that we will provide to City Relief to give out to those who are struggling with homelessness. So come on out on December the 20th. It's going to be from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. However, if you are hungry and want to come for breakfast, those doors will open at 8:30. We're going to have a continental breakfast. There's going to be some really good coffee from local coffee roaster Barrister Coffee House right here in Basking Ridge. And I think we're going to have some hot chocolate and some candy canes and stuff like that too. There's going to be Christmas music. Bring your Christmas cheer to the City Relief Packing Party on December the 20th. One final thing, this is the last week to contribute to adding more hygiene kits. We are up over almost 1,300 in total. Our goal is to get to 1,500 kits that we're going to pack on December the 20th. So by December 1st, if you would like to contribute to the event, click the link in the show notes where you can sign up for the event as well as contribute if that's something you'd like to do. We can't wait to see you there on December the 20th.
All right, well, let's switch over to a recap of our Vision Sunday sermon. So, again, if you're just new with us and you haven't been with us before, we do a Vision sermon around this time every year to kind of just reorient our congregation into our vision statement, what we want to be about as a church, as well as talking about some initiatives that we're planning in the coming year. Although this year we were trying to do several things, which made it a little bit more complicated. So if you look, again, the brochure is highlighting our 175th anniversary. So we have a big milestone coming up next year. We also have been working on, every few years we reassess and recast our strategic plan. Usually those run for 3 to 4 years. So we're shooting for 3 years with this one. And we wanted to give you information about that. And then we also baked in some things that are specifically happening in the coming year. So again, pray over this, look at this, pray about what God's calling you to, how God's calling you to be involved, whether that's serving, giving, etc. And Amy, do you want to talk about the merch store? I brought one with me, so if you want to commemorate this 175th, you can get something that looks like this, right? There it is. You can get a t-shirt.
Can we admire the logo?
There you go. The logo's on there.
Yes.
T-shirt. They have long sleeve t-shirts. We got polos. We got sweatshirts. I don't know if we have hats. I think there's a mug. We're talking about lapel pins. So it's go to the merch store. It's right on our website. Click on there.
You can also stop by the Welcome Center to see the actual samples. The physical samples
It's
are
true.
on display.
It's true. There you go.
Check it out.
All right. So maybe let's talk a little bit about what we covered here in this message. We tied it in with Isaiah.
Well, I have to say it was such a wonderful sermon, especially because you did a recap of some highlights from this past year, and my heart was just swelling with gratitude over all the things we can be grateful for. I mean, tell me, what did you love about this past year? Baptisms, new members.
So many things. Yes.
I don't think I properly thanked him for that video. That was outstanding. I was so moved by the way you visually put together all of those events, and they had the speed up version. What's that called when people walk really fast?
Time lapse.
Time lapse version. And, just having all those baptisms, one after the other at the end. And you really had a lot of content in there that was squeezed into a very small amount of time that gave us a great snapshot of a great year at NBC.
Indeed. It was indeed a feast for my eyes, Tim. I felt full after watching that.
It was
It's like,
definitely
why do we need to
perfect
preach?
timing.
Like, this
We're
is
in
it.
that-
You should
we're in
give.
that season of Thanksgiving.
Thank
so-
you. I
Yeah, but
appreciate it.
it's a good point, though. It is a Thanksgiving season, and we have a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
So, the video, I don't know if there was tryptophan in it, but as Tim told us before, it didn't make us sleepy. Hopefully you stuck with us for the whole message. I know it was long, but there was a lot that we covered and a lot that we were excited. And, good. I'm glad you put that up, because I did comment
Whoa.
to Tim, this looked a bit
Wow.
like an Avengers poster right here.
It does.
So it's like Dave has the gauntlet, I have the magic book from Doctor Strange, and then we have the other Avengers below us right there. So go and take a peek at it.
Live right now.
It is live right there.
Wait. Go back. So see that book in Bob's hands? See that book? Okay, that brown thing at the top. That's this. So I was trying to look up some cemetery records like a couple months ago. I think I've already showed you guys this on the podcast, but I found this, feel this thing. It's got
You
some
said
weight to
100.
it.
It was 100. They used it for 100 years, right?
Yeah,
That
it
is
starts in
1851
1851 and it stops around the early 1950s. I can't remember when, but
All
they
right, so
they used this
Piece of
one book for
history.
100
Goodness.
years. It's like, what do you think? 10 pounds, 5 pounds?
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy. So
They don't make
Did you
books
see
like I've held it, Amy.
that was
I've admired it.
the old record book.
I thought that was your book recommendation.
What I loved about it is I found it had the literal handwritten out New Hampshire Confession of Faith here with all the people's names and the church discipline statement and all kinds of stuff. And you could see when they had a new church clerk, totally different handwriting. Some have better penmanship than others. And it was really cool. They have like a certificate of dismissal here from this guy here who I guess moved on. They have some really cool stuff just tucked in here. So 175 years ago, this is how long we've
We
been.
need to get that digitally preserved right there. 'cause
Maybe
who
we
knows when
can.
it'll fall
Maybe
apart.
we
Yeah.
can like.
We should start keeping records like that again.
Yeah.
Put it on microfilm from back in the day. Remember microfilm with
I
the
do.
Microfiche.
They still have it. Yeah. So that was really cool. 175 years. A lot of new initiatives. A lot of cool stuff happening in the life of our church. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to stop doing what we already are doing, but there's some new things that we're excited about too. So, Amy, I wanted you to maybe just highlight again, what were some of the things that you were highlighting in your portion when you got up there? Because I want people to know about
Absolutely
taking that survey and the accessible tools that are ready for them.
Sure. And my apologies to those of you who were looking for this insert yesterday, and we ran out during the second service. So I will make sure that we
were
have more.
flying off the presses.
I will make sure that there is more next Sunday. But I'm inviting our community to take part in 2 activities. One is a State of Theology survey. If we can, we'll drop the link in the show notes, perhaps, if we can do that. The reason we want to invite people to participate in this survey, it's completely anonymous, by the way. You will not be identified, but it does give us a snapshot of what our congregation believes as a whole on critical issues of theology and cultural position statements. So this information will help us better provide the type of teaching and seminars and small group materials to help ensure that we are a community that is firmly planted in biblical truth. So take that survey. It's 35 statements. It should only take about 5 to 7 minutes. And your feedback, you will get the results right away. You'll get to see where you believe based on the trend both in our community and nationally. So take that survey.
Yeah.
All right.
And go ahead.
That's going to be part of an email that goes out either today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
There should be a
look
link
for that.
in the email for the pastors.
There is a link in that email that you can just click on it and take that survey right away.
And if you're not getting our emails, just let the office know. Give us a call. We can get you on our list.
Absolutely. Or if you picked up the survey insert yesterday, there is a QR code. You can scan that with your phone, and it will take you right to that survey. Any
That's wonderful.
questions or comments about the survey?
I took the survey myself as well as the discipleship portal, and they were wonderful experiences. So
I'm so glad.
I think you will feel very full spiritually
you.
after you're done doing them.
By the way, maybe I should mention that survey was produced by Ligonier Ministries in combination with Lifeway. So it is a national survey on the trends of American beliefs. So, but they created an opportunity for churches to conduct it in their local congregations so we can have a more accurate picture for our community.
Well, what a wonderful tool, I think, and thank you for putting that together. I am on the list of people that get notified when somebody fills it out, and my email was dinging all afternoon, so people were excited
Thank you for those
about
who have already participated.
Yes, we need you.
Yes, the second activity is, the announcement was about launching a discipleship portal. I'm super excited about this because there are 2 features that I want to highlight. One is creating your own profile, which allows you to enter and track your interests, your skills. You can take personality assessments. They're all free. And most importantly to me is a spiritual gift assessment. If you do not know what your spiritual gift is, this is a tool to help you discover what that is. And so you can employ your gift with joy and use it not only for your own joy, but to serve the larger community. And we see a lot of people. I started naming the people in my draft, and my husband said, oh, it's going to take too long if you start identifying people who are serving with their gifts here at NBC. But take that, fill out that profile, begin to understand how God has uniquely wired your experiences, even your educational background, your career, how all of that fits together to serve God in the kingdom.
Well, I'm gonna just give a shout out to this because I think we want people serving in their areas of strength, if possible,
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Obviously, there's some things that people we just need people to do, but it's great if they're serving in their area of strength.
Yes.
And the thing that I liked about that discipleship portal is that we get a sense of who's got the gifts that might work well on a team that we're forming.
Yes.
And before this happened, we would always just say, there's got to be somebody out there with this particular skill set, but we didn't know. We didn't know. So when you fill this out, you're going to let us know, hey, now we know so-and-so, they might be a good fit for this team because of their skill set and their background and their passions.
Yes, exactly. I was even thinking about, I believe it's in your bucket for Made to Multiply. The possibility.
Pull out my bucket right there.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes, you talk about intergenerational vocational discipleship programs.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that because we didn't get to mention it in the sermon. So we've had well, actually, at the beginning of the service, we introduced a couple new interns that we have, and we've been working at building out an internship program. I've taken on interns. I don't think you haven't had an intern yet, but Tim's had some interns. And one of the things that we want to do is not only have them serve with church staff, but sometimes people serve with us in an internship just to get an experience within church work, but they have a heart for, we had somebody last summer who wanted to go and do business as mission. And so we were trying to find somebody in the congregation who could meet a few times with her and talk about what it looks like to be a Christian business person. We've had others that want to do that as well. So when we know who's good at what, we'll know, oh, here's our list of people that we might want to approach that can potentially be a mentor for an intern or even beyond that,
Yes,
but
exactly.
It kind of grew out of the internship idea, but we were hoping that it'll expand.
Yes. So please, if you haven't already created a profile, I hope that you will do that. That allows us to get to know your experiences and background and fit you to the right ministry opportunity.
There we go.
For sure.
It's the key to unlock.
Yes, absolutely.
Unlock the potential, I guess.
Yes, we're unlocking potential.
Last week we unlocked fears. Now we're unlocking potential.
This is so much better. The other feature of this portal is to support and provide discipleship pathways for learning and to support your spiritual growth. I'm excited to create content. Well, not create content. I'm going to take the content that you wonderful pastors have already created and create discipleship pathways for growth. I'm envisioning categories for new believers so they can get firmly planted in spiritual growth disciplines, growing together in community, and leadership seminars for the multiplication portal, the multiplication channel, and learning how to disciple others. Jesus calls us to make disciples. So there is going to be so much relevant content for every person in this portal.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Dave, why don't you tell us about your stuff? Firmly planted. And give us a sense on this wonderful image that you came up with, the baton. You were pretty passionate about the baton and not dropping it, and we had a few creative moments in the message where you had people stand up to break up what we were doing.
Yeah, so I was thinking about images, and this one seemed to work well. So 175 years is a long time, and we want to pass the baton to the next generation so that we can have 175 more years, Lord willing, if the Lord tarries. And so the question about this is like, how well will you perform in the exchange zone? And Tim and I were kind of talking about this because he's a little bit more of an expert in terms of track and field.
Tim was rebuking me on stage yesterday for my baton passing.
So Tim, did we figure out what happened in the Olympics in Paris a couple years ago? Him and I had to have a conversation. There was a bad transition, and I think what was the problem, Tim? What happened?
The I believe two things might have happened. One for sure. So the guy who was receiving the handoff went too early. He took off too early, so he never would have been caught. So he had to slow down, and they kind of ran into each other in a way. And so the baton handoff was not good. And they might have been out of the exchange zone. And if you hand off outside the exchange zone, it's an automatic DQ. So that might have been another thing that happened. But yeah, these blind handoffs are practiced extremely often. Like when races are coming up for track teams and stuff, and your relay teams you are running and working handoffs the day before the meet and at the meet when you're warming up. It's a very, very important thing.
Yeah, and it's been a real struggle for the United States of America. Since the 90s, we've had, I think, 13 or 14 different bad exchanges, whether that's a drop baton or a disqualification or, something went wrong in the exchange zone. And so the image there is, how will we perform in the exchange zone individually and then corporately as a church, and how are we going to best pass off what we believe to the next generation? I think we have an opportunity here to do this well, and a big anniversary is a good time to talk about that. So really, Vision Sunday is about new initiatives that will help us be able to pass the baton well. A couple things that I talked about were, first of all, we want to be expanding the parking lot to create more spaces for people to come check us out. Number two, we wanted to plant a tree and actually commemorate the last 175 years, and we have been actually talking with Bruce Cork. Amy's been also helping with that a lot, thank you, to design a prayer garden, which would be a beautiful place to sit, meditate, pray, fellowship, and enjoy some beautiful landscaping on campus. So we have some plans for that. We're going to have to figure out a date for this tree planting and talk to the experts about when's the best time to do that. Our friends at Back to the Nature, I think, are going to help us with that as well.
We have an exchange zone on when it can be planted, right?
Yeah. It's
if you missed the handoff, the
not
tree's
too
gonna
late,
die.
not too soon. There's a certain window there where it's best, right? So that's kind of fun. I also didn't get a chance to talk about this, but we're going to continue our caring ministries like Bucksmont Counseling. Grief Share is going to continue. I didn't get a chance to tell this, but, last year we decided to do Grief Share, and we didn't really know how this would go. And a lot of people came from like outside of Millington, which, Grief Share has a way of marketing and promoting their materials, which helps us to be like a hub, a host of someone who will, a church that will hold these groups. And so people came that we didn't know. And, there was this one particular couple that had just lost their son, their only son, their 17-year-old son, like a month or two before Grief Share started. And they came really broken, and they were able to find leaders and participants here who rallied around them, cared for them, cried with them. It was hard to hear their story and not cry every single week with this poor kid that died, 17 years old, of cancer, and they had just buried him. And what struck me there is that when we first thought about doing Grief Share, their son was still alive, but God in his sovereignty knew this family would need a place to go and to find comfort and to find people that were willing to mourn with them. And we were ready when that happened to be a tool in God's hands. And so that was just one cool story of how God used NBC last year, which, we'll continue that. But it's kind of neat to see how God, like the book of Isaiah says, already knows. He knows the end from the beginning. There's stuff that we're planning that we announced yesterday. We have no idea how God is going to use that, but he knows, and he's preparing us to be able to be a useful tool in his hands in that way. So those are a couple things that we talked about that I'm excited about. So you have any things to add that you guys are excited about?
You mentioned a book stall. Are all of the books that you've been recommending going to be part of that book stall?
I think our books would be part of that. We're probably going to have to gradually roll out the book stall initiative. It might not be this year. We have to look for some.
Within the
there's
next
some
3 years.
financial issues there, but we're going to try to work those out and roll it out ASAP. But we are writing some books. I think we're going to reveal something new in a week or two, right?
Yeah, not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
So
there will be a big reveal.
Yeah,
so make sure you're here for
for
that week.
We're not going to tell you, but you're going to hear about a new resource that's actually going to be a tool for the person in your life that doesn't know Jesus. And we think that you're going to be excited about this, and it could potentially be a way of witnessing. And so stay tuned for that. You'll hear about that, not this Sunday, but I think the following Sunday. Is that right, Bob?
Yeah, the 7th. We decided on December 7th.
Yeah.
For Sunday in December. You need to be here.
There's a teaser. You don't want to miss that
Peace
Sunday.
Week, right? The Peace Week in Advent.
Yes,
Hope,
week
peace,
2 is peace.
Joy, love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
I can't believe it's Advent already. Here
It
we
is.
go.
The wreath is
this
coming
Sunday.
out this week. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So the 4 weeks of Advent leading up to the big day of Christmas.
The big reveal.
The coming.
Will Jesus be born?
Yes.
We're always wondering every year.
Coming of the
Is the
Messiah.
Messiah going to come?
Yeah. Of course,
He
Advent.
manages to come every year.
Yeah. Advent liturgically, theologically is actually about the second coming. It's
Yes.
actually about the expectation of the return of Christ. And it just so happens to coincide with Christmas and remembering the first coming. So it's a very rich way to
know.
think about
Which was
anticipation
cute, you know.
and waiting.
Very cool. Last year we were in Revelation, and we actually got to end with the second coming of Christ and weave that in.
Yeah.
This year we're in Isaiah, and Isaiah, of course, has a very eschatological future focus. So the last Sunday in the month, we will get again to the new heavens and new earth,
Yeah.
Isaiah 65 and 66.
Right.
So,
Right.
Could I mention, though, speaking of Advent, I noticed something really cool in our e-news. I believe there's a Spotify Christmas song list.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Was
Yes.
that John Bonaventura?
John and I concocted this idea. I asked him last Monday, I'm like, what if we could like create a playlist? And he's like, actually, I already have one. I'm like, you do? So
Oh yeah.
he like cleaned it up a little bit and then sent it over to Noah, who put a graphic behind it and then like made it available. So I think it was available in this Saturday's e-news edition, but we'll
It
continue
is.
to promote
I
that.
already started listening to
Oh, it's not bad, right? I've checked out a couple. John has good taste.
To
So
those of you
there's
who
some
are-
good songs.
To those of you who are new to the John Bonaventura Christmas playlist, welcome. I've been around for a little bit.
So that's available. Click on that, and then you'll have stuff to listen to while you're like, drinking your cocoa, while you're decorating your tree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe the after Thanksgiving vibe in your house needs a little Christmas music. So that's there. We're here for you.
and is that the proper time to listen to Christmas music?
That's when
Is
it's
it-
permitted.
That's
Yes.
a little bit of
Day
a.
after Thanksgiving.
Some people have started Mariah Carey's stuff already, man. I've been disappointed, but All I Want for Christmas Is You. I've heard it already, so it's happening.
Sad.
All I
Sad.
want for Christmas
This is
is
where
for
this is
people
the
to leave
cultural drift
Thanksgiving
that's
alone.
happening in our world, Pastor Dave.
Cultural drift.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll mention the Made to Multiply, the Living on Mission initiative. So one of the things that I highlighted in my section was the launching of a disability ministry, compassion. Building a culture of compassion is how it's voiced in here. So we're doing things like I'm already in the process of putting together a disability leadership team. We've got some people interested. We've met a few times to kind of plan. I mentioned a disability dads group. I've had a few guys that are impacted by that we've gotten together. Johnny and Friends is a great disability ministry. You saw their video yesterday, but I love their Johnny Erickson Tada builds their vision off of the parable of the great banquet in Luke 14, and she talks about going out and bringing people in so the house will be full. And that's part of our heart with this, that we could bring people in that might naturally have barriers to being part of the community, and we could care for them and help come alongside them. So I talked about that 5-to-1 caring initiative, and at some point doing parent night out respites. I know people that are caregivers, they get caregiver fatigue. And there's a whole lot of other stuff, but I think that's going to be an exciting initiative as we start to put legs on it. We're doing a sermon series to kick off the new year, so we'll talk about that a lot more in depth and look at what Scripture says about things and how we can partner with what God is doing. The other ones, Tim talked about some local outreach initiatives. So why don't you mention some of those, Tim? Just to
Sounds
highlight
good.
for these
I'll
folks.
throw this graphic back
He
up
had three.
because I don't have a camera on me.
There you go. He had three points,
Three
which
sub-points.
very well, and they almost rhymed.
Almost. Yeah. So when talk about local outreach things, I highlighted that, we want to do something. What did I say? We want to reach someone new. We want to provide something more, and we want to do something big. So the first one we want to do is, in terms of reaching somebody new, here in Basking Ridge, there is a VA hospital. And that's been there for the last 95 years. And we've already been starting to build a relationship with some of them here at NBC. We just want to continue to do that and grow that. This is a population of people that is often overlooked, and we feel that could really be reached with the gospel. So between their campus that they have there, and they also have an on-campus supportive housing unit called Valley Brook, where there's already a Bible study going on over there. So we want to support them doing that. We also want to help them get to church by making them a shuttle stop. So we're looking forward to providing that. Second, in terms of providing something more for people who are struggling with homelessness, we want to continue our partnership with City Relief, continue to give to them financially, but also really start going out and serving physically. So we have 12 dates that we were going to go out next year in 2026, January, February, March, April. You get the idea. Every single month we will have a date that we can go out to bring some people out there. So sign up. That's going to be really amazing to go out. I've been out a bunch, and it never gets old. So please do that. And we also want to continue the packing party. We're providing them with hygiene kits, and we want to provide them more and more every single year. You heard a little bit about that on one of the ads that you have heard or might hear already on the episode. So I'll stop there. And then the last one, do something big. We want to close out the loop of our yearly seasonal events that we have here for outreach, and we want to do something in the summer to close out the year and help people and families enjoy the summer, the end of summer before they go back to school and everything gets all busy. So we want to do an event called Summerfest, where think of it like almost like a carnival type vibe. We're gonna have food and family fun, some live music, some local bands, in-house bands that we're hoping to bring in. We also want to give these people an opportunity to do outreach themselves. So we want to do a fundraiser that will hopefully contribute to saving children from sex trafficking. We also want to use this as an opportunity to showcase our strategic local partners, but also hopefully some small local businesses as well that we want to outreach to as well. So do something, reach someone new, provide something more, and do something big here at NBC in 2026 when it comes to outreach.
Yeah, it's exciting. A lot of exciting things. There's a few other things that are mentioned in the pamphlet that we didn't get to talk about, but we're hoping to roll in things like coffee houses that could be opportunities to have non-Christians come on and then or come to campus, and then spiritual movie nights would be watching movies, and then pulling out spiritual themes as a way to have a non-threatening engagement with somebody who's not a Christian, and continuing our Christianity Explored courses. Yes. So lots of exciting things, lots of outreach opportunities, lots of places to serve. So join us. We're excited about 2026, 27, and 28, maybe even 29. We'll see. Should the Lord
Speaking
tarry.
of
I don't know about
movies,
29 yet.
have you guys made plans to see Wicked 2?
Oh,
Wicked for Good?
I've already seen it.
Oh, man, that was quick.
Well, my wife, we had some unexpectedly somebody offered to watch our kids on Friday night, and my wife is a big Wicked fan, and so
How was it?
Well, not as good as the first one, but I think that is also partially because of how the second act just is not as good as the first, so they decided to split it into two movies and stay pretty close to the actual production. It probably would have worked better if they made it one movie, but still, a lot of people went and saw it that made a lot of money, and I'm sure that was their motivating factor to doing two movies.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the movie theater on Friday, but it was not to see Wicked.
The tagline is "You will be changed." Were you changed?
It looks like the two actresses were changed in the making of the movie, but we don't have to go there.
I suppose.
Were you defying gravity?
Not in this movie. It's an interesting discussion about worldview. I think we talked about this when the first one came out, that you kind of had this rewritten story where it's the wizard who's bad and it's the Wicked Witch who's actually good, and she's fighting this kind of globalist establishment with the animals or the oppressed peoples, and so it's and then everybody at the end, everybody's kind of like lying about everything. So even the Glinda, the good witch, she's like covering up what actually is going on, and the wizard kind of goes away, and you don't really know why he lies about why he's leaving, and she sort of takes power at the end, I suppose. It's interesting, but a lot of the songs are fun. We could break that down. Somebody asked me that when they came into the Colson Fellows thing on Saturday about the worldview implications for Wicked, and we started to talk about that a little bit. So
Interesting.
maybe that could be one of our underground podcasts, Tim. I'll break down a movie review of Wicked.
You should do that.
Wicked 2. All right, there we go. I got an idea. So have you seen it yet? Do you have plans?
Highest opening for a musical adaptation, estimated $114 million at the domestic box office. It's been a rough year for Hollywood, so this could maybe save them at the end of the year.
I heard people
here.
saying that today.
Wow.
All the trailers looked bad. My wife and I saw the new Now You See Me movie. All the trailers looked bad except for the Hamlet movie. I thought that looked really good. Bob, I don't know if you got to see that preview.
I didn't see that, but there was some fun previews I saw at this one. Maybe 2026 will be better than 25. Hollywood just needs to start making better stuff, right?
Agreed.
Back to the Vision campaign. So if you're interested in giving towards NBC, at the bottom of the panel of one of your panels on the brochure, there's a QR code. You can simply scan that with your phone, and it'll take you to the giving page. Our challenge for you is to say a prayer and ask God, how do you want me to contribute to the vision of NBC here at the end of this year, above and beyond your normal offering? And say that prayer and then listen to the Lord whisper an answer and then obey God, what he's calling you to give. We're trusting God for $375,000 as our giving goal in the month of December of 2025. And we would invite you to partner with us as we continue to make disciples of Jesus who are firmly planted, growing together and made to multiply.
Ladies, I am done talking to the men, and this next one is just for you. Women of NBC, we would love you to come out to our women's ministry Christmas event called Rejoice. Rejoice will be a Christmas celebration and a potluck breakfast that will take place on December the 6th from 9:15 to 11 o'clock a.m. Bring your favorite potluck dish to share and enjoy a sweet time of fellowship, worship, and devotional to prepare your hearts this Advent season as we get ready to celebrate God's beautiful gift in Jesus. That's right, December 6th from 9:15 to 11 a.m. Childcare will be provided, so don't let your kiddos keep you from coming out to this incredible event. Rejoice with the women of NBC on December the 6th.
You know, speaking of Hollywood, coming back to giving and all that, so I think the tension, too, is between the movie theater and the small screen, because a lot of productions that are going on the streaming services, the production quality is super high. So I don't know if you've been catching up with the David series, but I thought second season was...
Oh, I finished it.
This weekend. You watched the whole thing?
I needed a study break.
All right, so what did you think about the...
I got to do something with my brain.
About the last episode, worked in 6 chapters.
I was already prepared for it because you told me that was going to happen. And I was like, okay, they're covering a lot of ground. Certainly a lot of stuff there that didn't really happen in the Bible. That whole scene with the sword fight and Ishmael, and that was obviously creative. Yeah. But I can't remember when David, when he fled. So in the series, it looked like his wife stayed behind. Is that accurate? Did she not go with him? She didn't... Yeah,
if you remember, then eventually Saul gives her in marriage to somebody else, and then later on
takes her back.
David, of course, marries Abigail, and I forget the other one. And then when he comes back into the city, he asks for Michal back in marriage.
Yeah. Okay, so that's accurate then.
But what's interesting about the Hebrew narrative, though, is that I think it's in 18 or 19, 1 Samuel, when Saul throws the spear the first time, David goes away, but then somehow he's back a couple chapters later, so it's not... I think there's a question about whether it's actually... Chronological,
So I liked it. Season 2 was not as great as season 1, but it was a good season.
Right. Well,
but
David
that's just because the narrative isn't as exciting, but it is good. It's well done. My favorite scene from the last episode of season 2, episode 8 or whatever it was, is that bond between David and Jonathan.
They captured that really well.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
So here you got the king's son, Jonathan, and really he should be like David's archenemy. Really, David is the biggest threat to Saul's family, and he's got this anointing from Samuel. He's going to be the next king. He's going to basically usurp his own dad, and Jonathan is supposed to be the next king. But here's Jonathan playing his humble role, saying, I'm not going to let this get the best of me. I'm going to humble myself before God's choice. You're a better king than I would be, obviously, because that's why God chose you. So I'm going to get on my knees and choose to serve you. And I think this was very meaningful to David that he would choose to do that. That scene there where they exchanged their covenant vow to be brothers was whoa.
Yeah, they captured that really well.
I hadn't pictured that scene in my mind the way that so to me that was the most meaningful part of that whole
What did you
season.
think about the them turning Samuel into Gandalf and having a "you shall not pass" moment?
My word, what was that?
Serious?
So
Really?
Samuel took his staff and drew a line.
Well, there is
And
the
then there
scene
was,
where Samuel, all the Saul and everybody's prophesying.
Yes.
So their imagination was Samuel was there keeping Saul and his people from going up to capture David, but it was kind of like a Gandalf and the Balrog
Oh my.
scene.
Yeah. That was wild.
I haven't seen any of this season yet. I'm going to have to binge watch it.
It'd be a
this
good
weekend,
Thanksgiving
maybe.
weekend.
And
Yes.
Stranger Things is launching on Thanksgiving Day. So speaking
Oh,
of
boy.
the
Oh, it
opposite
is.
side, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
What, the first half, Tim? What'd you tell me?
It's like there's like 3 parts. So the first bit gets done on Thanksgiving Eve, then the next bit
Wednesday, okay.
on or Thanksgiving, whatever it is. The next bit gets done on Christmas, and then the last bit gets done on New Year's Eve. So it comes out in 3
Wow.
different parts.
All right. Well, they're gonna hook you in. So that's what I'm saying.
Already hooked.
People are more excited about those things than the Hollywood movies. But anyway,
I'm very excited for
So
the Odyssey.
is there going to be a season 3? David season 3? Is this
they
for
got
sure?
I've heard them say they wanted to finish young David's rise to power. So there's got to be a season 3 that gets you into like the first part of 2 Samuel. Not getting him into like his
We got a
older
little
years.
preview. There was a scene with a full beard.
Yep.
So he's got to at least get that far when he's like King David.
So I don't think they're
Sits
taking
on
you
the
up to
throne.
David and Bathsheba, but like him kind of reunite, like defeating Eshbal and taking Ishbosheth and reuniting the 2 kingdoms. I think that seems like where they want to end it.
Oh.
And then I don't know. Then they kind of have to recast it because the guy who's playing David will be too young.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They can do some crazy stuff with AI.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
He's been a good David though.
yeah.
Yeah, good David.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
He can
so-
fight now.
That's right. All right. So Amy, there you go. You got to catch up.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's on my watch list.
Good stuff.
Here at Millington Baptist, we believe in the power of prayer. We believe that prayer is so important to our lives and to the lives of others. So we want to prioritize prayer here at Millington Baptist Church. One of the ways we're doing that here at Millington Baptist Church is to open up opportunities for communal prayer as a church body. We're doing that through our prayer rooms, which happen on Sunday mornings, but also now during the week. On Sunday mornings, we have 2 prayer rooms, one for men, one for women, that open at 8 a.m. upstairs in the YFMB. We would encourage you to come out to church a little early on Sundays to take advantage of this amazing time that we spend together with the Lord in prayer. And then on top of that, something we're really excited about here at NBC is that the men's prayer room will be opening up 3 times during the week here on NBC's campus. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 to 7:15 a.m. in room 203 in the YFMB, our men's prayer group will be meeting every one of those days, and it's open to whoever wants to come and share time in prayer. So as you continue your walk with the Lord, you may be asking, how can I be better about prayer? Well, joining one of these prayer groups might be your first step in improving your prayer life. So come on out and check it out. NBC Prayer Rooms. It's an awesome time.
All right,
right.
Tim, are we sprinting?
Yes.
All right. We got our relay batons and everything. So maybe we can like do this as a relay sprint or something. Like we can do like a 3x100.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
The
I
dash.
don't want to drop that.
Did you show? Has
Trinitarian sprint.
Has Amy seen the graphic? Can we put Amy into the graphic?
What graphic?
The Theology Sprint graphic.
Oh,
not
no.
not this last minute.
I don't feel equipped.
Well, maybe show her. Show her.
Have you seen the theology?
You've seen the Theology Sprint graphic?
Oh, here it is.
See, comment. What's your comments on this?
Oh my goodness.
That's my auto mechanic jumpsuit.
Yes.
How many times is it actually 60
Like you can
seconds?
help me fix my
0.
car.
You guys want an oil change 10W30 or 5W30?
I do
I'm
have
going
a
down the
squeak.
pit.
I have a squeak in my car. If you can help me fix
I'm
that.
ready. I got my overalls.
All right. So today we're having a little bit of a different tone to the Theology Sprint. It's more of like it's not really a getcha. I think it's a question that you guys know the answer to that people might not know the term.
Okay.
What does it mean, or can you guys explain the concept that God is long-suffering?
The Greek term for long suffering is macrothumos. Macro meaning big or long. Thumos meaning hot. So essentially what it means is God takes a long time to get hot. That he's patient. That he's long he's willing to suffer a long time. It's one of the most repeated attributes of God in the whole Bible. I think it's a wonderful characteristic of God. And I love the way that Tim Keller used to say it. He used to say that anger in the Bible is not inherently sinful. And there is something to be said for righteous indignation. You should be angry about injustice. You should be able to, have some kind of reaction when you see wrongs that are done. But God has the perfect balance. And so Keller kind of drew a spectrum, and he said on the one side, there's like blow anger, which is the kind of anger that just erupts, the kind of anger that's escalated, the kind of anger that's, going to be abusive, that's going to be perhaps using some words that you regret when your heart rate goes a little too high and you start using language that you shouldn't use. That's blow anger. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there's no anger. And that's when you allow passively evil to triumph and you never stand in its way. And that you are, like King David with his sons, not willing to confront things that you should confront. That's no anger. That's also sinful. So you got blow anger and you got no anger on the two ends of the spectrum. And in the middle is slow anger. And that's the way that God is, that he is perfect in his timing and that he is patient and that he is long-suffering. But eventually his patience does have an end. And he gives lots of warnings and tripwires along the way. But we serve a very patient God. But he's not everlastingly patient. At some point, he's going to allow us and turn us over to our own decisions, and his long-suffering nature will come to a close. So that
You used that example in a sermon one time.
did I?
Yeah, I remember the blow and the slow and
Yeah.
the go anger or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's
I
Tim
forget which
Keller.
one it was. Yeah,
It's a Keller thing.
yeah. Okay. What the Hebrew word, if I say correctly, is herek apayim, which is again the long, like kind of long anger, but literally the phrase means long of nostrils. So that's a Hebrew idiom for this kind of slow of anger, which you see in Exodus 34. He's slow to anger, abounding in love. Numbers 14:18. So yeah, that's good explanation.
In Hebrew, it's like, if you see like an angry bull or an angry animal start to like get the nostrils start to flare, like,
but they're not charging you yet.
that was the imagery behind that word. That's why nostrils got associated with anger in the Hebrew culture. So eventually it became known the way it is. But that's the background. Why would you say nostrils with regards to that's why. So
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Words can be fun. There's interesting background studies. Tim, is that what you're getting after? Are we?
I believe yes.
All right, Amy. Any last thoughts on?
We'll give
Amy,
you the
here,
final
the
word.
most long-suffering
Final word.
person on the
Send us off
panel.
there. Yeah.
But no, when I think about God's long suffering, I also think about his mercy and that he gives us time. He is patient with us and gives time for redemption and for us to pray for those who need to be in right relationship with him. So as we are entering into this season of Thanksgiving, I thank God for his attribute of long suffering because he is patient with us and with those whom we love and we should be praying for.
Amen.
So if you got some weird people coming for Thanksgiving, remember the long-sufferingness of God, right?
Yes. I think that's a great analogy and illustration.
Those relatives you see once a year,
I saw this funny meme of Donald Trump, and the top of the meme is like what I say to my therapist about my extended family, and then there's Trump, like his little animated cartoon Trump going, "There's something wrong with these people. I don't know, but there's something wrong with these people." Got to be more patient. Got to be more patient.
That's right.
Long
We
suffering.
should have spotlighted your book, A Beautiful Mess, as we were getting into Thanksgiving, right? The messy family dynamic.
We could bring it back out. Yeah.
Try to keep it light
Yeah.
around the Thanksgiving dinner table.
right.
Try to keep it light.
Boom.
Talk about tryptophan or something.
I don't know. It caused a great debate today, so I don't
That's
know if
true.
I bring it up.
Yeah, maybe
so.
that's not safe.
All right. Well, from all of us to you, have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Eat lots of turkey. Even if it doesn't make you tired, take a nap. Enjoy the stuffing, and we will see you back here for the first BTP of December next week.